Good morning, my friends. It is me, Militant Ginger. It is 5 in the morning. Yep, I'm up at crazy o'clock in the morning. Don't know why I couldn't sleep. Today is Sunday, the 12th of March, 2017. I think it's, since I've been doing this intermittent fasting thing, I have noticed that my requirement for sleep has been massively reduced. I used to be tired all the time, never getting enough sleep, and now I just don't need as much sleep. And that's why it's been so much easier to get up at 5 AM and go to the gym and stuff like that. Can't go to the gym today because it's Sunday. The gym doesn't open until 7 o'clock in the morning. But I thought since I have missed making a couple of videos these last few days, I would take the opportunity to do that. I wanted to make a video on Friday because Friday marked 4 weeks of me doing this intermittent fasting. Excuse me one second, I've got my little notes here, which is going to be important in a second, so I'm just looking at them here. 4 weeks since I started intermittent fasting, and I thought it was a good opportunity to make a video and let you know exactly how that has gone. It's basically a month of intermittent fasting. Just to catch up, let me tell you the story. So, I was big fat chubber, and I needed to do something about that, and I was making YouTube videos, watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I stumbled across this guy called Greg O'Gallagher, who runs a YouTube channel called Kinobody, and he introduced me to the concept of intermittent fasting. What intermittent fasting is it's where you delay eating. So, you know, regular people get up in the morning and they have breakfast, and then they have lunch, and then they have dinner, and they have 3 meals a day. Bodybuilders, a lot of bodybuilders, they have like 6 meals a day. So they have their little Tupperware containers, and they're eating their grilled chicken and rice out of Tupperware containers 6 times a day. With intermittent fasting, you spend the majority of the day not eating anything. You can drink stuff like sparkling water or black coffee. And then you have an eating window, which means a certain amount of time during the day that you can eat. So Greg O'Gallagher, for example, does 16-8, which means 16 hours of the day he's fasting, he's not eating anything. And then for those 8 hours, he eats all the food that he wants to eat during the day. I'm trying something called the Warrior Diet, which is slightly more extreme than that. It's 19 hours of fasting and 5 hours of eating. So for me, what that means is I wake up in the morning and I do not eat anything until after 5 o'clock. And I eat everything and drink everything that has calories that I'm going to consume that day between 5 PM and 10 PM. And then I go to bed and do the same thing tomorrow. A lot of people I've spoken to are like, well, that seems extreme. It's really not. I mean, I used to skip breakfast all the time anyway, so just to skip lunch as well, that makes no difference at all. When I started out with this, I got like hunger pangs, but your body very quickly adjusts. The interesting thing is, my whole life has improved massively through doing intermittent fasting. I think because your body's not spending so much time digesting food, it sends resources elsewhere because, as I said, I don't need to sleep as much. I've been so much more focused. It's incredible. And I've just been like really getting a grip on my goals and things like that. I've been getting a grip at work. I don't get tired after lunch at work. I used to have a real problem of literally falling asleep at my desk after lunch. Now that just doesn't happen. And in general, I just feel great. If you've watched any of my previous videos, normally I start them off with whatever meal I'm breaking my fast with. So you'll see I've been eating like a pig. Because I'm a fat chubber, I have a problem with acid reflux, which is not so much of a problem recently since I've been losing weight, but I have eaten enough to make myself feel physically sick on several occasions. And if you watch the rest of the videos, you'll see I'm still losing weight. But how much weight can you lose over 4 weeks, which is basically a month of intermittent fasting? I will tell you. So on Friday, I weighed myself. You know, when I started this experiment, I was 188.5 pounds. And on Friday when I weighed myself, I was 180.6 pounds. So that means I've lost 7.9 pounds, or 8 pounds pretty much. So over 4 weeks, that's a consistent 2 pounds a week. I know a lot of people like trying to look for super diets where they can lose 20 pounds in a month or whatever. Intermittent fasting doesn't do that, but 2 pounds a week of weight loss consistently is great. That's all you can ask for in a diet. I think any more than that, it's not a healthy way to lose weight. So, and the great thing is, I have not been watching what I've been eating at all. As I said, I have been eating and drinking everything I want to. I've been enjoying it a lot more because at the end of as I said, when you're intermittent fasting, when you break your fast, whatever meal you're having is the best meal in the world. So I've been enjoying eating and drinking whatever I want, and I've still lost 2 pounds a week. So that's great. But where does the weight come from? So the nice thing about my scale is it's got body composition elements to it. They're not super accurate because it's not an exact science, but it's a good indication. So I'm just glancing over here. When I started this project off at 188.5 pounds, I was also 24% body fat, which means I was carrying around 45.25 pounds of fat. It's a lot. It's like a bag of horse feed. And I was 40% muscle, which meant 75.5 pounds of me was muscle. I used to pretty consistently lift weights, so I'd say I'm like average or above average in terms of the amount of muscle I have for a guy, but very, very much a chubber. Okay, so when I weighed myself on Friday, the body fat percentage was 22.5. So, the percentage of body fat that I make up has gone down. To put that into maths, so 24% of 188.5 was 45.25 pounds. 22.5% of 180.6 pounds is 40.6 pounds of fat, which means I have lost 4.6 pounds of fat. That's good. 4.6 pounds of fat I'm not carrying around anymore. In terms of muscle, I was 40% muscle, and when I weighed myself on Friday, I was 40.9%. 41% we'll round it up to, which means 73.8 pounds of muscle. It's interesting. The percentage of my body that is muscle has gone up, obviously because we're losing so much fat, but over the course of those 4 weeks, that actually means I've lost 1.5 pounds of muscle as well. So I've lost 4.6 pounds of fat and 1.5 pounds of muscle. It's not ideal to lose muscle. I think it's an inevitability, especially if you do just classic dieting where you just eat less. Most of what you're going to lose is always going to be fat, but you're always going to lose a bit of muscle as well. With intermittent fasting, I think that there is the potential to reduce the amount of muscle you lose. I've been going to the gym on a fairly consistent basis and lifting weights, but I haven't been watching what I eat. So I think I probably haven't been eating enough protein and working out like hardcore enough to really protect my muscle. So I need to start looking into that. But in any event, this is the dilemma that anybody who is trying to change their body faces. Bodybuilders always say, that it sucks because you're either cutting, which means you're eating at a calorific deficit, you're eating fewer calories than you burn, and that means you're mostly burning fat, but you're also going to burn some of your precious muscle. Or else you're gaining muscle, which means you're eating at a calorie surplus, you're eating more calories than you burn, which means you will build muscle as long as you're doing resistance training, but you're also going to gain fat. So you're either getting fatter or you're losing muscle. And I think intermittent fasting can help with that, but it's still the same situation. I don't care. I'm a big fat chubber. I need to lose my chub, and so that means I'm gonna have to consistently hit the gym. I'm gonna have to watch what I eat, but I'm also gonna lose some of my muscle. The rest of that, because anybody out there who knows a little bit of maths will say, well, if you lost 7.9 pounds, but you lost 4.6 pounds of fat and 1.5 pounds of muscle. That's 1.7 pounds left over. Where did that come from? Well, mate, that's water. One of the things with intermittent fasting is you lose a lot of water weight. And a lot of people like, oh yeah, it's just water weight. They don't really understand the science of it. And I mean, I can't claim to understand the science of it, but I can parrot off what I've read. When you eat the traditional way, you eat breakfast, you eat lunch, and you eat dinner, you're giving your body carbohydrates throughout the day, and those carbohydrates in the form turn into glucose in your bloodstream, and they get bonded as something called glycogen with water. So it's 1 part glycogen, 1 part water, and then those feed your liver, and they feed your muscles, and once your liver and your muscles are fully topped up, the rest of it goes to make body fat. When you're intermittent fasting, because you spend most of the day in a fasted state and your body doesn't have the glucose in it. Oh, sorry, the computer screen went down. Yes, when you are in a fasted state, your body doesn't have the glucose in your bloodstream, so it doesn't bond to, the water doesn't bond to the glycogen, so you don't retain as much water. And so that's why when I started this diet, my first week, I lost like more than 3 pounds instantly, and my face just looked leaner instantly. I mean, I just physically look leaner, and that's because I'm not carrying as much water. I don't look as puffy. That's great. That doesn't necessarily mean that my body composition has changed much, but it explains where the extra weight went to. Right. So, yeah, I'm feeling good. 4 weeks of intermittent fasting, I still feel fantastic. I'm losing 2 pounds a week. Most of that is fat. If I take my shirt off, I'm not going to do that now because nobody wants to see that right now. I'm looking so much leaner. I'm definitely getting like definition of my abs, and you can see my biceps more and things like that. I'm in a good place, and I'm going to continue doing this. The interesting thing that Greg O'Gallagher from Kino Body said was that as long as you find a way to manage your diet that's consistent and sustainable, you've already achieved your results. Because the problem is most people will go on like a crash diet for 4 weeks to try and lose 10 pounds, and then as soon as that finishes, they go back to eating normally, and it's like, you go back to what you were before. With intermittent fasting, this is a lifestyle, not a diet, and I'm going to continue it. Even if I didn't have the weight loss benefits, I would continue it just because the focus and the mental clarity and things like that are just amazing. So I'm going to continue doing this, and this means I'm going to definitely achieve my weight loss goals. My goal is to hit 170 pounds and about 15% body fat, which isn't crazy by any means. Hopefully you'll like see some definition in the abs and things like that, but that's definitely not crazy bodybuilder type body fat percentages. But if I'm losing 4.5, 5 pounds of fat every 4 weeks, that means in 3 months, May time, just in time for the summer, I will have hit my goal. And that's fantastic. And from there, I don't know, I can start looking into my macros and eating more protein and eating at a surplus and then building muscle again. So we'll see. I will keep you updated with that as we go ahead. But if you wanted a report on what 4 weeks of intermittent fasting will do, well, there we go. 8 pounds, 4.5, 5 pounds of muscle lost. Sorry, fat lost. Feeling good, looking good, doing good. So I'll keep you updated with this, and since it's now 5:26 in the morning, hopefully I've got a good hour before the kids get up. I'm gonna crack on with some writing and see if I can get my parts of my novel banged out. So I'll catch up with you guys later. Cheerio.